Okay, O'Finn, what do you want? You realize it's midnight.
I know it is Captain Williams, but I saw the light on in your office here, and I thought it would be all right.
Well, what is it? I'm a busy woman.
It's my request to transfer, ma'am.
Oh, yes, that silly business. Dennis Patrick O'Finn, bachelor. 12 years in uniform on the beat, 7 years homicide division, present rank, detective first class. Request to transfer to arson squad. O'Finn, do you even know what the arson squad does?
It investigates fires, ma'am?
Good. Reasons for request. Personal. Would you explain that, O'Finn?
It's private personal, Captain.
Look, you've 7 years experience homicide. You're no Sherlock Holmes, but you seem to have the luck of the Irish, so you've done an okay job. We don't need anybody in arson, so why should I transfer you?
Please, Captain, it's a matter of life and death.
Explain.
Do I have to?
If you want the transfer.
Captain, will you keep this confidential?
Of course I will.
Word of honor?
Word of honor.
Well then, Captain, it was like this. There was this house, 909 Sycamore, house about 100 years old. And it's right across the street from the apartment building where I live. And it being nice weather and all, I left the window in the shade up while I was shaving. In the house there were 6 old spinster ladies. Peeping Toms, that's what they were, Captain.
Elizabeth, what's he doing now? He's in his undershirt!
Oh, can you see the strawberry mark on his shoulder?
Clear as day. Oh, it's a beautiful strawberry mark.
I want to see for myself.
Oh, he has such big muscles. Oh, do you know what he's doing now?
What?
Tell us! Calisthenics? What kind? With big dumbbells, he's swinging them up and down and out and
Oh,
back.
I can just picture him.
He's stopped for a minute now. He's inhaling. Oh, you should see his chest. Oh, don't torture us, Elizabeth. He's squaring his shoulders. Oh, his shoulders, they're so broad. Now, he's flexing his biceps. They're swelling up and up and up. Oh, stop it! I can't take it anymore!
Give me those binoculars.
We should all have a turn!
They're my binoculars.
It's my window because it's my house.
But it's my turn! Never mind now. He's finished with his exercises and he's disappeared. Oh, it was a grand sight. If we could just afford more powerful binoculars.
I'd like to really see him.
We've sat on the porch and watched him go in and out.
I mean, really see him up close.
So would I. Why, we don't even know what color his eyes are.
If you don't know, nobody knows. You have the binoculars most of the time.
I like to hear his voice too.
Couldn't we go across the street and,
And what, Nettie?
couldn't we pay him a neighborly visit?
Nettie, nice ladies do not go visiting gentlemen.
Well, let's invite him to tea.
That would be improper. Inviting a gentleman to tea when we haven't been introduced.
Well, what can we do then?
We'll have to make him come over here and visit us. We'll have to arrange it somehow.
How?
If he were a plumber, we could stop up the sink.
If he were an electrician, we could blow a fuse.
But he's not a plumber or an electrician. He's a detective in homicide.
Well, how can we arrange for a detective in homicide to come to this house?
Well, that's simple. All we need is a body.
A body?
A dead body, that is.
Well, where on earth are we going to find a dead body?
I wasn't there, Captain, but that's the way I've reconstructed how it happened. You can see, can't you? It was no fault of mine except for leaving the shade up.
So you're trying to tell me that they committed murder just for the sake of your charming company?
I'm not meaning to boast, Captain. I wouldn't have believed it myself. But the poor dears were so desperately lonesome. Spinsters, every one of them. Getting a little old and touched in the head.
I think I still have your report on this case. I can't seem to find it. I'll have to refresh my memory.
It wasn't long, sir, before there was a dead body, sure enough. But by the time they called homicide and Kramer and I got there, the scene of the crime was like, well, nothing I've ever seen before.
Doesn't she look pretty? I must admit, it was very generous of you all to give your best things to wear.
She deserves it. Wasn't it nice of her giving us this chance to meet Mr. O'Finn?
Yes, that's why I sacrificed my precious pearls.
Isn't my hat becoming to her?
Do you think they'll bury her in my feather boa?
I suppose so. Oh, all those pretty things gone to waste. No, I didn't mean that. Forgive and forget. I'll just give her a little whiff of my perfume that she was always trying to steal.
Oh, that must be him!
I'm going to swoon. Don't you dare. Everybody behave themselves. Line up for instructions. And nobody step on those dishes I dropped. Remember the rule. Nothing must be touched at the scene of the crime.
We touched the body.
We had to. Elizabeth Wedding got herself poisoned in the worst old house dress.
Isn't somebody going to get the cord?
I will. I thought Mr. O'Finn was coming.
My name's Kramer. O'Finn's parking the car.
And that, Captain, was when I walked into the trap. So what have we here?
Mr. O'Finn?
That's myself. Is this the house where the lady died?
It is.
Where's the body?
Isn't he masterful? I'm Hildegard Hodge, Mr. O'Finn. This is my house. I'm the one who called.
How do you do?
Oh, you poor boy. You look a little peaked. Haven't been eating the right things, have you? That's the way with you bachelors.
Bachelor?
You're not married, are you?
Well, no.
Good. Then you're unattached.
Look, lady, you're not supposed to be asking the questions I am. Where's the body?
First, you must meet my boarders. This is Nettie Norton.
Oh, you have such a strong grip, Mr. O'Finn.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Oh, no, I loved it. I felt like I was one of your dumbbells.
What's this?
I'm Amanda Abernathy. Oh, Mr. O'Finn, you're so strong. Squeeze a little harder.
What?
I wouldn't mind a little bruise.
Honest, lady, I didn't mean to.
That's the way with you, He-Man. You don't know your own strength.
I'm Lucy Long. Mr. Elfin, you remind me of my Herbert.
Who?
An old beau of mine. He's dead now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's quite all right. I'm out of mourning. Besides, he wasn't nearly as handsome as you are, Mr. Elfin. You are handsome.
Lucy, you're a bold hussy.
You feeling all right?
I'm gonna swoon.
Can somebody get her a glass of water or something?
Catch me if I swoon.
Well, I guess so.
In your strong, muscular arms.
Lucy, show him Elizabeth.
Mr. Elfin, this is Elizabeth Osborn.
Is she dead?
Well, we wouldn't have given her all our pretty things if she was alive, would we?
She's dead, all right. Kramer called a meat wagon, probably heart attack or something. Ladies, I'm afraid you made a mistake in calling homicide. You see, when someone keels over dead, we're not supposed to come and look at the body. It's only if it happens under suspicious circumstances. Natural death is not in our line. Let's go, Kramer.
That wasn't a natural death!
She poisoned!
Murdered!
What? Who says she was murdered?
We all do.
What makes you think so?
Elizabeth was as strong and as healthy as a horse. She didn't just keel over. Have the doctor do, what's that they do?
An autopsy.
Yes, an autopsy. Then you'll see.
What makes you so sure? Who did it? Did you all do it together?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Mr. O'Finn, you're supposed to find out who did it. You're a detective.
There was a murder. You all think there's a murder. Well then, let's pretend there was one. You all didn't do it together, but you all know which one of you did?
Oh no, we don't know.
It's a mystery.
The one who did it knows, of course.
Yes, of course she knows, but nobody else.
Kramer, what games are they giving me now?
One thing's for sure, that's a real body.
Then we better get the facts just in case.
You're the boss.
All right, I'm gonna start with a few questions.
We're gonna get the third degree!
You didn't find the body here all decked out like this, did you?
Oh no, we had to dress Elizabeth up for the occasion.
Occasion? What occasion?
Gentleman callers.
Yeah, sure.
There's been a murder. Nothing should be touched at the scene of the crime.
We didn't touch everything. There are broken dishes Hildegard dropped when she discovered the body.
You discovered the body?
I was bringing in the tea things, and I found Elizabeth on the floor.
And you were so surprised that you dropped the dishes.
And she screamed. We heard her upstairs.
And, we kind of knew what it meant. What?
What is all this? Kramer, pick up those dishes. Put them in a box. Label them Exhibit A.
Where will I get a box?
In the kitchen, that way.
Well, there was a murder, and one of you in this room committed that murder.
Who else?
The first thing to look for in any murder is the motive. But who would want to kill a poor old lady?
Well, somebody had to be murdered, and I'm glad it was Elizabeth.
So, and what did you have against Elizabeth?
Well, she was selfish with the binoculars.
Binoculars? What's this about binoculars?
Shame on you, Nettie!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, out with it. What's the business about binoculars?
Hey, Finn, maybe that's what they're talking about.
Well, here they are, but what do you mean?
Don't make us tell you that, Mr. Open.
You use them to look through.
Kramer, what do you think?
Hey, Finn, long-distance specs like that are used for looking at things outdoors.
The only thing I can see from here is my apartment building. I can even see through my own windows.
Girls, come and help me in the kitchen now. It's time for tea.
Oh, Finn, I see the gimmick, don't you?
What are you talking about, Kramer?
You're supposed to be a detective, Dennis, my lad. But it's your modesty that's blinding you. Now, here are these poor old dames with nothing to do all day but sit around. So one of them has a pair of these sailor's glasses, and they spend their time looking out the window with them, minding everybody else's business but theirs, because they don't have any business of their own. And what do they see straight across the street? A window. And what do they see in the window? A man. And what finer specimen of manhood is there than an Irish cop? Ah, you're a beautiful creature to behold. Dennis, they're all in love with you.
Shut up!
But how can these old biddies lure you across the street? You, a detective in homicide. Elementary, my dear old friend.
It's a dirty lie!
You're the motive for this murder.
What proof do you have?
You want proof? Well, here it comes.
We're having a party, Mr. Open.
Don't you worry, Mr. Open. We opened a fresh package of tea. I'm sure there's no rat poison in this one.
I'm using my best tea things, Mr. Open, but there are only 5 cups. There isn't any for Mr. Kramer.
I can take a hint. 5 is company and 6 is a crowd. I think I'll just have a beer on my way back home. Ta-ta, Dennis, darling. Don't drink too much tea. It's terrible stuff.
Kramer was right. They committed murder just to get you into their house.
Seems like it, Captain. And that's not all they did. They murdered everyone.
Did you conduct an investigation?
That I did, Captain. There was arsenic rat poison in the house. The lady had drank it in her tea. She always snuck downstairs in the afternoon to get an extra cup of tea. So someone had just mixed the rat poison in the cup, and it was waiting for her.
Who was guilty?
Well, that wasn't as easy to find out. They didn't make it easy for me because they wanted to keep me hanging around. So I told them there hadn't been a murder, and that I wasn't coming back.
How did that strategy work out?
Miserable, Captain. Miserable.
It's been a whole week now. A whole week and not a glimpse of him going in and out of his apartment the back way, keeping his shades down.
We ought to complain to the police.
We don't want to get Mr. Open in trouble.
But there really was a murder, and Mr. Open ought to be right here this minute investigating.
We'll just have to do what we talked about.
You mean we need another murder?
Mr. Open couldn't pretend that 2 ladies poisoned in the same house was just a coincidence.
Oh dear. Who shall it be? Nettie?
She's the most convenient. She's always the last downstairs to tea.
Poor Nettie. She's such a kind soul. The only one of you I really liked.
Rather, we'd use you, dear.
Well, I wouldn't want to miss the fun when Mr. Open comes back.
All right, but after this, we'll have to get some new boarders. I'd rather we poison a stranger anytime.
Do we have any more poison? Mr. Elfin took our last can as Exhibit B.
I bought a new one.
Fine, go get it, Hildegard. And I have a suggestion. Let's all hide our eyes. Then everybody walk over to the tea table one at a time, and whoever poisoned Elizabeth can put a spoonful of poison into Nettie's cup.
Oh, goody, then it'll still be a surprise. Let's hurry before Nettie gets back.
Who's first?
You, Lucy.
I don't have to go. You both know I couldn't use the poison. I couldn't hurt a fly.
You're not fooling anyone, Lucy. I've known all along you were the one who poisoned Elizabeth.
That's not so.
Stop teasing her, Amantha. Let's get this over with. Hurry up, Lucy.
If you insist.
Listen to her old bones creak.
That's not my bones. It's the floor. I'd like to poison you, Amantha. That's who I'd like to poison.
Well, not today, Lucy. Let's save Amantha for some other time.
I don't think I'll drink any more tea in this house. I don't trust anybody.
All is fair in love and war.
Lucy, aren't you finished yet? You've taken long enough to poison all of us.
I'm back at home base, and I did not use the poison.
I'm starting now.
Hurry up with it.
Oh, I feel just like Lucrezia Borgia.
Do you think she's doing it? Wait, she's bloodthirsty. She's the guilty one.
Remember, my dears, the guilty one is the one who brought dear Mr. O'Finn into our midst.
Yes, you're right. Thank you, guilty one, whoever you may be.
I'm finished now. Your turn, Hildegard.
I'm on my way. I'm the last one, so I'll take the rat poison and hide it.
Good idea. We wouldn't want to leave the poison out on the table. Might make Nettie suspicious.
I'm finished now. Let's all sit and do try to act normal.
Oh, just in time I hear Nettie coming down the front stairs.
Oh, you've started without me again. I hope you've left a body some tea.
So they committed another murder to lure you into the house, did they, O'Finn?
That they did, Captain. And don't think I didn't take it to heart, being the motive for murder like I was. Well, they made another call, and me and Kramer went back to the house. And you should have known it, Captain. There they were again, in the reception line, waiting for me.
It's about time you're getting here, Dennis, my boy. You should know by now, this is our regular Tuesday stop.
Another one, eh?
That's right, Mr. O'Finn. There's a murder loose in this house. We demand police protection.
Looks to me like the police need the protection. But do you see what happens, Dennis, when you neglect your duty and don't come by this house for tea every day? Something always seems to get into that tea when you're not here.
Oh, you needn't remind me, Kramer. Well, this time I'm not going to budge until I find out who's guilty.
Oh, wonderful, Mr. O'Finn is going to live here with us.
Do you think that'd be proper? We've always only had lady boarders.
It's up to me to say what's proper in this house.
Oh, please let him stay, Hildegard. There are 2 rooms vacant now. He could have his choice.
We could see to it that he'd eat the right things, couldn't we? But he'd have to pay just like anyone else. In fact, he'd have to pay double because he'd eat twice as much.
Oh, Hildegard, you're a mercenary.
I'm a poor woman.
Poor? You're an old hussy. If Mr. O'Finn has to pay double, he should get both rooms. And one could be his gymnasium, and we could see his strawberry mark.
Ladies, stop. Let's get down to business. Kramer, will you make sure we have a dead body?
Oh, she's dead all right. We can guarantee that.
Ladies, I need your attention. There will be no more tea parties. There's been another murder, and I want to know who did it.
Oh, we don't know. We can't tell you. We hit her eyes.
Kramer, what kind of malarkey are they handing me now?
Don't you see, O'Finn? They're playing games like hide and seek. And you're it, pal. It's that simple. Like they said, have you no imagination, man? One of them committed the murder while the rest of them hid their eyes. Sure, isn't that the usual way murders are always committed?
They're too dangerous to run loose. I'm going to call the paddy wagon and lock them all up.
You can't do that, Dennis. You got to have evidence.
What evidence do I have?
We still got Exhibit A from the first murder. A bunch of broken cups and saucers.
You see how cooperative we are, Mr. O'Finn? We left those there for you.
It's a good thing you did, or I'd have you all in the clink for destroying evidence.
Is it really evident?
Of course it is.
A clue.
That's right.
What does it mean?
That's what I'd like to know, Finn. What does it mean?
Well, it's just, she dropped him in surprise when she found the first body.
So what?
Well, that's the funny thing. Here's a whole set of dishes, cups, and saucers, broken. But you weren't short of dishes at all, Miss Hildegard, on the day of the first murder, when I stayed and drank tea with you ladies. You brought out a new set.
Oh, yes, I brought my best dishes for you, Mr. O'Finn.
I see, your best set. And these here on the table are your best set, I suppose.
Oh, no, they're my second best. I'll use my best ones every day when you're boarding here with us, Mr. O'Finn.
Because every day will be a special day, Mr. O'Finn.
Let's see to it that your best dishes are still in the cupboard. And your second best are here on the table. Then your third best must be broken in this box. Aha!
Are you onto something, O'Finn?
I may be Kramer, I may be at that. Come take a look at these broken dishes.
How do you mean?
Do you notice anything funny about this junk?
You mean there's some missing pieces?
Some very important missing pieces, my boy. There's no handles for any of these cups. Miss Lucy, I have a question to put to you.
Yes, Mr. O'Finn.
Tell me something about days in this house that aren't special. And there's no guests coming over. Do you often drink tea with cups without handles?
No, that wouldn't be ladylike.
Then why is it on the day of the first murder, Miss Hildegard brought in tea with cups without handles?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. It's because Miss Hildegard knew she was going to find a dead body, and she knew she was going to have to drop the dishes. Miss Hildegard Hodge, I arrest you!
Was it really you, Hildegard?
It was really me.
Mr. O'Finn is so clever. I would have never thought of the clues of cup handles. Isn't he so clever?
Marvelous, Mr. O'Finn. Are you going to take Hildegard to jail? Will you take me in your car, Mr. O'Finn? Do we have to take Mr. Kramer along?
Hildegard, you are the lucky one. If only I had the nerve. I want to go for a ride in Mr. O'Finn's car.
I think I'll do it. They didn't even have the nerve to do it.
Let me out of here! Well, that's how it was, Captain.
But if you got your murderer, then why should you have to resign from homicide?
That's the thing. I've caught my murderer, and I won't be going back to that house anymore. But didn't you see what happened the last time I ignored them? And now someone will be committing murder just to get me inside their house. Like I said, Captain, it's a matter of life and death.
Yes, I see.
Just to be on the safe side, I already told them you approved my transfer. I said, ladies, if there's any more murders, you'll only have the attention of Mr. Kramer. Today is my last day in homicide. I'm transferring to Arson Squad.
Hey, O'Finn, you in arson yet?
I don't know, Captain. What about it? Am I in arson yet?
Transfer is approved. You're an arson, O'Finn.
Well, I wanted to make sure, because I just heard it on the shortwave. Big fire, old house, straight across the street from your apartment, O'Finn.